Dannii Minogue is one of the most famous people in the country. I'm talking to someone who has straddled 4 decades of fame.
There's a person that people think you are, and then there's the real person. Today is a really good opportunity to sit with Piers and get him to find out who the real person is.
Dannii has never done a full sit-down interview about her life before, and I doubt she will again.
This is the first time I've gone through everything from start till now.
Well.
Well, how did I end up here?
I don't know, but I'm very glad you have.
Kind of strange.
Right, let's cut to the quick. Right now, you are starring...
I love it when he does this.
You are starring in X Factor, which this series has exploded. It is like a real-life soap opera.
It's incredible. It's like the best thing that's happened to me. But at times it's been really tough and character building.
How vile is Simon Cowell to work for?
Well, you know.
Well, I know how vile he is. I want to hear you say it.
I tell you, you have to start with a compliment.
No, you don't.
He's tough to work for. He should be. You know, he's got a lot of people that he's responsible for.
Well, never mind all that. What about the negative side?
The negative side. He loves himself. His ego's almost as large as yours.
I mean, he also has, I'm told, transformed his dressing room, and he's now got cowhide wall, which he's spent 20,000 on, and has a bubble bath. Is that right?
Yeah. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but...
Oh, all of it.
It's beautifully done. It's like James Bond room. It's like leather panelling. And there is a bath, and it's like a hotel. There's a bath, and at the end of the bath, there's a TV screen. He said, that's where I'll be watching the dress run from. OK. And so before the first show, I bought him a rubber duck.
And do you lie in the bath with him watching the run-throughs?
Oh, of course.
Is it fun, X Factor, or is it so nerve-wracking because of the sheer size of the show, the number of viewers watching? I mean, can you have a laugh now, or is it too intense?
I think the intensity is what we're all doing, like working with all of the different departments, and I personally get wrapped up in the contestants and wanting to know, do they feel okay when they go out there? I don't think you can be aware that half the country's watching, otherwise you'll completely freeze up.
I mean, it is much harder, I think, for you girls, isn't it? Because the amount of scrutiny that you get, how your hair looks, your dress, the comparison with Cheryl, all that kind of thing.
It seems to be. I don't know why it's that way, because you speak to a lot of women and they go, why do you have to be pegged up against anyone else? You're just on the show doing what you're doing. But I'm sure when you're working with Simon, a little bit they peg you against each other, but it's more intellectually. It's not about your nail polish or anything else, how pretty you are.
Do you feel the pressure about how you look? Do you feel every show you've got to come up with some dazzling new look?
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning after a big live show and the papers do one of their, you know, who looked hotter charts, you know, and it says, oh, Dannii blew Cheryl out of the water last night. Do you feel a little like, oh, yes?
You give it a little F1. Yes! I think the thing is, you know, I spent so many years reading headlines that I was the kind of the fat, ugly sister. You kind of do get a little bit of joy out of going, oh, I look good. Every girl likes that.
Although people think that it was Kylie that was first off the showbiz starting block, in fact, it was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I bet you've got really bad old footage now.
From an early age, Dannii and her older sister Kylie have had a healthy showbiz rivalry.
Dan was the first one to really take off in music on the TV show Young Talent Time, which was huge at the time. Every family was tuning in.
Dannii was the main star of Australian variety show Young Talent Time, leaving Big Sister to watch and learn.
Dannii was on television every week, and she was one of the biggest household names in Australia.
Dannii was TV royalty. Everyone wanted to be her. All the boys fancied her. All the girls, you know, aspired to look like her. She was the one.
We actually did a segment on Young Talent Time where Dannii introduces her sister Kylie.
Danny's decision to leave the show after 7 years to pursue an acting career left the nation reeling. Both Dannii and Kylie wanted to make it big in Britain, but it was Kylie who exploded first, thanks to her role as Charlene in Aussie soap Neighbours.
I knew more of Kylie with the records that she had out in the charts and everything, and I probably shouldn't admit to this, but I used to watch my Neighbours.
There's always been this idea in the British press that Kylie, if they were a record, Kylie was the A-side and Dannii was the B-side.
Kylie's on-screen success was the launchpad for her musical career, putting her firmly into Danny's territory.
Dannii had lots of top 10 records, but Kylie had lots of #1 records.
But then in 2007, Dannii landed a role as a judge on The X Factor. And the rest, as they say, is history.
I think the British public have finally been able to get to know somebody who maybe before they just didn't really have the chance to know.
She's totally stepped out of Kylie's shadow.
I couldn't do it. I really could not. I'd fall to pieces. I'd be too flustered.
Dannii and Kylie both from Down Under, but Dannii was the one who was seen as down and under, but not anymore.
I mean, you're bigger than Kylie now, aren't you?
I don't think so.
A little part of you thinks so. Come on. There's got to be that sisterly rivalry.
There's not. There is absolutely no rivalry between us unless we're on a Scrabble board. Then I kick her ass.
Does it feel nice to come out of Kylie's shadow a little bit?
I don't wake up and compare myself to her every day, but there's a lot of times when I just thought, maybe I'm not any good at any of this, but I'm being given opportunities and I'm having a great time doing what I'm doing. And when I just focus on that, it's fun.
Have you ever been jealous of her, if you're honest?
No.
Never?
No. She was better at bowling at one stage. No, seriously. She was a 10-pin bowling champ and she came back with all of these awards and stuff. And you look up to your big sister and you think, you know, maybe one day I'll be good at doing things, but I really don't compare us.
Who's the better singer?
Right now, I would say Kylie.
Right now.
Right now.
And if you both came on X Factor as separate contestants... Oh, come on, it's the business. I mean, who do you think would do better?
I think she'd kick my ass.
You have had an extraordinary life. I mean, you were famous before you were 10. For those who obviously aren't Australian, how big were you?
It was as big as being a star on X Factor today, but instead of being on it for 10 weeks and then walking away and winning the show, you grew up on that show. So I did that for 6 years. So
this was just to explain. This was a show called Young Talent Time. Which one are you?
Bottom left.
Were you precocious, bossy little madam, or?
I would stand up for myself. I was no pushover. One of the guys in the... he's not in that picture, but we're very, very good friends now, but he used to really annoy me all the time. He was completely hyperactive, and one day he was just doing my head in when I said, just stop it now, just really stop it, because it's enough. So, of course, he had one more go, and I don't know what happened. My arm came out, and I just went, boom, and I punched him, and he fell over. And I thought, I don't could do that. Never messed with me again, I tell you.